everyone, welcome back to Sharon Cullen Art. Today is Tiny Tuesday Tutorial Day, and I had a request about a week ago if I would consider doing Tiny Tuesday Tutorial bookmarks. So today I'm going to be doing bookmarks, and I'll try to do a couple, see what I can fit in a short period of time. They're pretty quick, but before I get going, there was one thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to thank Ann Johnston for sending me the Daniel Smith watercolor. It was very nice of you. I don't have this color, so it will be very fun to try it out. It is Cascade Green by Daniel Smith, which is, I believe, a staining color. Let me see here. It's PBR 7, which is very interesting. It says raw sienna on the side. Oh, and phthalo blue. So it's a mixture of raw sienna and phthalo blue to get Cascade Green. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to see how that works out. I'm going to use a little bit of raw sienna and phthalo blue and see if I can come up with this green on my own. But this is the mixture of raw sienna and phthalo blue, which is PBR 7 and PB 15. And it does meet the ASTM standards, and it has a light fastness of 1, which is excellent. So let's go ahead and get started. This would be a highly staining color if it has phthalo blue in it, so we know that for sure. I will turn the camera around, and we're going to go ahead and use this today. So let's get started. Okay, so I have this Cascade Green here. Before we get started, I just wanted to check it out. I'm going to put a little bit on my palette. Hopefully it doesn't come squirting out fast because I hate that. It is. I hate when that happens because it wastes so much. And then I want my raw sienna and I want my phthalo blue. And we're going to see if we can make this. So those of you who are at home and say, oh, I don't have that color, you can say, oh, I will make that color. So I've got my phthalo blue and my raw sienna here. And I'm just going to give these both a little squirt to activate them. Remembering that phthalo blue is highly staining and very, very concentrated, I would assume the same effect occurs with Cascade Green. So it is a beautiful color. It's a very deep green. I would say this would be good for mixing with. It would also be good for distant trees or shadow areas on trees. And now I'm going to go ahead with some phthalo blue and some raw sienna. And we're going to see what we get here. Mixing these two colors together. I'm going to need a lot of raw sienna, I would think. And this one has not concentrated or reactivated very well. I'm just going to put some down on the paper, see what we get if we mix them together on the paper. We'll do this, and then I will grab my phthalo and do this, and we will meet in the middle. And there is your Cascade Green. So those of you at home, if you don't have Cascade Green, use your phthalo blue and raw sienna. Let's see what happens if you don't have raw sienna and you use something like yellow ochre, what you would get. This is a little orangier than yellow ochre is, but every brand is slightly different as well. You can see on my palette the difference from raw sienna to yellow ochre, but I'm going to go ahead with the yellow ochre and add my phthalo blue to it. My phthalo blue isn't concentrated enough, if you can believe that. There we go. And you can also come very close with yellow ochre. It's not quite the same. The green is a little bit brighter because it's a little less orangey, but they're very similar. So Now you've learned something about Cascade Green today, and we can go ahead and get started. I'm just going to grab two pieces. I cut mine about 2 inches by I think 6. I used one of my 6x9 sheets and just cut 2 inches off. So yeah, 2 by 6. Yes, that is the size I am using, which is pretty standard for me. And then when I'm done, I usually laminate them. So I'm going to go ahead and tape them down. I know most people love doing those galaxy type things. So we're going to do one that's going to be like a galaxy today. I'm just trying to make sure my camera's focused well. There we go. And for that, I'm going to use a bit of green. I don't think I want to use the Cascade Green for that though, but I think I'm going to use a bit of my green gold. You can also grab your sap. And then I'm going to grab maybe my phthalo blue, and we'll start with that. And then we're going to need a very dark color, a black or Payne's gray, whatever you have that you'd like to use. I think I will use my black, my lunar black that I have. We're going to put some trees in at the end. But what we're going to do first is take a brush and just wet down your entire paper, top to bottom. I think we'll start on the right-hand side, or I will because I'm left-handed. There, now I've got a nice bit of water down. Just making sure that's all saturated. Now this may go under my bookmark because I added a lot of water here. I'm going to take some of it back up. Just drying my brush off here. And letting that work its way into the paper a little bit. And then I'm going to mix up some phthalo blue. Actually, I think I can take it right out of my thing here. And you know what? I am going to grab some Payne's gray. I think I will use my Joseph Z's Payne's gray this time, or my Joseph Z's cool gray this time, which is more purpley. And I'm just going to use my phthalo in here. I want it very concentrated though, very, very dark. Let that just work its way around the paper. Working its way in. Then I'm going to take my gray, which is not wet yet. Nice and dark for the edges of my sky. It's turning this a bit green, whatever's in this pigment. Okay. And now I'm going to take some of my green. I'll start with my, where's my spray bottle? I like to spray my colors before I get going so that they activate, and I did not do that. Ouch. So I'm just going to take my sap green here, and I'm going to get on right on the edge of my phthalo. Maybe a little bit down the middle. Then I'm going to use my cool gray in the center, or my cool gray, my green gold in the center, which is quite yellow. I might not use a lot of this, but I want to keep a lot of the white there. So I'm going to leave the rest of that, and I'm just going to take my clean brush, making sure it's very clean before I go back in and dry it off, and I'm just going to work some of this white back so I don't lose it all. If I take some of the moisture out, then it won't bleed in as easily, you see. Now we're just going to go ahead and let that dry. Okay, now I'm going to take some white gouache to make my stars. You could also have done this with masking fluid by taking a toothbrush and sprinkling some masking fluid. That works very well as well. You want to get those really finely done though. I'm just going to put a little bit of white in my palette here so I can dip into it and make my stars. And I like to use the back end of this plastic thing. I'm going to get it a little bit wet. This is an eraser, one of those drafting erasers. This one's by Staedtler. And with a little bit of wet on there, I'm going to go ahead into my white gouache. I want to cover this bookmark up so that I don't splash on it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put stars all over. Then we will let that dry, and then we're going to put the trees in. And for the trees, you can use your black, your gray, whatever you want to use, something very dark. You don't want to use green though, because you wouldn't see the green when you're looking at a sky like that. So get yourself a nice brush with a point, and we're just going to put in some pine trees, basically, is what we're going to do. And I'm just going to go into my black here, and then you can just do a pine tree like this, putting in your tree trunk. And then, I'm not used to these synthetic brushes. I run out of juice so fast. And you're just gonna put in your trees. Got to turn this a little bit for my left hand. Okay, and then I'm going to do another one. We'll do a short one in the middle here. I want it to kind of overlap. Okay, so that one is just about done. There's not much more I'm going to do to this one, except that if you want to put a sentiment on it, if you want to write something on it, you can go ahead and pen something in on that. A lot of times I will pen a quote on the back of a bookmark before I go ahead and laminate. And I would do something in relation to whatever the fixed painting is. So this being about the galaxy, the stars, I might put a quote about the galaxy and stars on the back. Now this one we're going to do a little bit differently. I think we're going to do some flowers on this one. So the first flower I'm going to do will be a tall, like a echinacea or something. I want a big top like this, and then I'm going to have these kind of coming off like this. Let's see. Now for the other one, I'm going to set these colors aside that I don't need. I think I will use some quinacridone rose. I'm going to need a yellow of some sort. I'll just pull out my deep Hansa Yellow Deep. a nice warm yellow, and you need your green. Okay, now for the first one, I'm going to grab my pink here, and we're just going to go ahead and paint this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. Now I want to add the yellow to the top. And I want to get a darker brown in here as well. I'll take this one, whatever this is, raw umber. That's not dark enough. Let me try my transparent oxide brown. Yeah, I think this is a Rembrandt color. I'm not sure though. And then I want to brush up on it. You could even use a Payne's gray or something, but this is just the color I wanted to use. And I'm going to let that dry so that I can go in over the yellow a little bit. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead with the point of my brush, and I'm just going to sweep up on this here and there and add some little bitty bits. There. That's pretty good. Get it more over by the petals though. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead in with my green, but I'm going to stop my green right here because I want to put another flower in. I haven't decided exactly how far this stem needs to come down. So now I'm going to grab my red, my quinacridone rose, and my yellow and make myself an orange here on my palette. That's a pretty orange. And then I'm just going to take, I'm going to use a different brush that has a stronger point. This is just I think this is a Da Vinci Maestro. Yeah, they have long points. So I'm going to take this, a little bit watered down though. And I'm just going to go in and sweep up like this. In little groups. We're going to make like a carnation sort of flower, I think. of this out here like this, up and over like that. It kind of went off the page a little bit, but we'll make this side longer. Then I want to go back in again and just add some deep orange at the bottom of each one of these and just let it kind of do its thing and spread upward. There we go. You want to keep a little bit of the white in there. There, that's pretty good. Now we're going to let that dry. We can bring the stem down now to where we want to meet that other flower. I'm just using sap green here. And I'm just coming over here with a little bit of water to draw that green across. There we go. And then, it's feeling pretty dry. It's not too bad. I'm going to go ahead down here and make this edge of that carnation here. There we go. And then I'm just going to sweep that down. Not all the way though. Maybe putting some leaves in. They have long, skinny leaves. I press, I lift. Press and lift. These have branches with leaves that come off of them. I'm just going to leave that like that and be done. Doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Just want to add a little shadowing underneath. There we go. And a little shadowing on this. And then at the bottom, I just want to kind of draw some color down. Like it's bleeding. There we go. Just going to draw that color down. Lifting a little bit of color out on this side to make it a little lighter, to stay consistent with the other flowers. Like there's a light source on the side. There, that's a little bit better. Okay, so now this I want to fix though. These leaves kind of bled a little bit. I'm not sure why. So I must have had water on there that I didn't know I had or something. Okay. Now we'll go ahead and let that dry for a second. Actually, no, we're not going to let it dry for a second. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab my little funky little splatter brush here that I have, and I'm going to splatter some color down around the bottom. And I don't want orange stars in my other thing though. There we go. And then I want to do some of the pink too. Just gonna grab some pink from here. There. And that's all there is to that. Now we're gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna do one more thing with it. You'll need a pair of scissors. Okay, now you don't have to do this. This is just something I want to do. You might want to stop here and leave that alone. We'll go ahead and we'll remove the, oops, I did bleed on this a little bit, but that's all right. You know, it's a bookmark, so if I want to clean up the edges, I would just cut that edge off. You know what I mean? I kind of like the way it's seeping though. It looks real jaggedy. That's kind of a cool look. I'm just gonna take the rest off of there. Throw that away. And now with the scissors, we got some small scissors that'll work really well. I'm just gonna take these little baby fiskars and I am gonna cut around the top of the flower like this. And that's going to be the top of my bookmark. Might want to come in a little bit even like this. Make it look a little. There. Just going to look something up here real quick. I think what I'm going to do on this one, I think I'll put it on the back. So basically I'm just using a quote that I saw online that involved stars, and I'm going ahead and writing the quote on the back. Now the writing I'm using is like mixed up capitals and lowercase writing, and then I go back and just kind of fill in on some of those letters and make them more bold. And then after I finish that, I'm going to wet the back here. I erase all of the lines, and then I wet the back, and I'm throwing on some of the paint colors that I had on the front, and then that's pretty much it. Okay, now I'm heating up my laminator. The one that I have is called Zoomio. I got it on Amazon. It was very inexpensive. I can look it up real quick and tell you exactly how much it was. I got it for a Christmas gift a few years ago. Let's see, Zoomio. I don't see the Zoomio brand anymore, but this one's very similar. It's $30. Here's one for $19.99, which had almost, it has 4.5 stars, 5% off. It's Toyugo, Toyuugo, and it says it does up to A4. Which is what you want, 9 by 11.5, whatever it is. Then they have some that are for 13-inch, which are $32.99. I would probably go for the biggest one I could get, because if you want to laminate something bigger, then you can. Mine has the option for cool or hot laminating. I've only used the hot, but you can get different size sheets. I have these different size sheets here for like wallet size business card things that I want to hang on to. Like when I get my Medicare card, I laminated that because it's just a piece of cheap cardboard. But you can buy packets of sheets. Usually you'll get a few in with the machine. But I'm going to go ahead and put these through. This one, and then I'll recut the flower. And the thing is I hate wasting so much paper. So when I do bookmarks, I usually will do a lot of them at one time so that I'm not wasting so much laminating sheet. You can't reuse it. Once you've used it, you've used it. Oh, and I did not put a sentiment on the one with the flowers. Let me see if I can find something cool for flowers. I had to run over and make sure I got a package out for UPS to pick up again. So now that I'm done with that, I can get busy. Now on this one, I'm gonna wet again a little bit. There's still some eraser on here I want to get, or some line on here I want to get off though. And then I am going to just decorate the back a little bit. It doesn't have to be any big deal. You got the flowers on the front, so I like to match the colors a little bit. I'm gonna wet the back, like I said. Maybe not quite to the edge, but then I'm gonna take a brush and just get my orange all over here that I have left in my palette. Then maybe a little bit of that green, which is not on the front, but it's close enough you're not gonna notice. And a little pink, which I put away here. Where's my pink? There it is. That's a little too pink. There. Now I'm just gonna let that dry. Okay, now that that's dry, I'm gonna take my bookmarks, put them in here and run them through the laminator. Just like that. So, laminators are very easy to use if you've never used one before. I also have that little cool one that you can wind through, but it's a manual thing, but I do prefer this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and run these through. Once I was doing bookmarks and they got all tied up inside, I was so bummed I lost them all. I had to take the screws out of the back and remove all the guts, take out what laminated, and then put it back together and make sure this worked because it got clogged up. So that happens sometimes. The nice thing about these is you've got a tray with a guide that helps to keep your paper from going off the edge. You know what I mean? And this did what I didn't want it to do again. This is how I ended up getting stuck once before. The tip folded under. I don't know how that happened. But once I pull through, I usually like to do it a second time too. I don't know that it's necessary. I just like to do it that way. I might trim off half of it to run it through again though. I'm gonna trim some of it off. Don't need all of this. There we go. Get rid of all that. And I'm gonna run this through again and hopefully get this to straighten out. I'll do it this way. See if I can get it to straighten. Oh, it helped a little bit, and while it's hot, I'm just taking it up and holding it this way so that it'll stay down. So that's done. I'm just gonna shut it off. And now I can go ahead and trim these. Okay. Oops, I didn't go all the way to the end there. Okay, and then the rest I'm just gonna cut with scissors. So, whoops, I'm tossing stuff everywhere. So I'm just gonna go around this again, leaving about a 1/8 inch edge like I have everywhere else. I got packages that I need to open on camera from somebody, so I'm gonna open that up. I think the other one might be from a YouTuber, but I'm not sure. The name seems familiar, so let me turn the camera around. Well, this one is done too, so you can see how these turned out. I just wrote on here, flowers fade, but the word of God endures forever. That's Isaiah 40, verse 8. And that's all I did on that one. And then this one, I just have, why wish upon a star when you can pray to the one who created it? And we got that. So there's your 2 bookmarks for today. I hope you liked those. Now I'm going to turn the camera around if you want to see me open this. One of them is a painting. So let me turn the camera around and we'll go ahead and do it. I'm going to open this one first. and make sure, it says fragile, so I'm going to go ahead and open it, but I don't remember giving her my address. It says Sharon Cullen on it with my address. This is from Shelley Bennett in California. Courage, strength, and hope. As you face one day at a time, thank you for all the work you do for your YouTube channel and for us subscribers. That is so nice. And then there's a note here. She's saying she hopes my husband recovers quickly and praying for my son's thumb to start to function. And he did get that second opinion, by the way. I need to call him today. You hope I don't have one. Ha! We'll see. I've got so much crap here, as you can see behind me. But it feels interesting. So let me grab my scissors again. I lost them. They must be under my envelope. You guys are so sweet to me. Oh, I love receiving happy mail. Okay. Oh, it's taped inside the envelope too. Oh, all I love is art. Castagnet. Oh! No, I don't have any of his. Ah! I think it's a Castagnet paintbrush. So, let me just see here. They've got it taped very, very well for you. And I don't have one. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. I was not expecting this at all. It got a little bit bent, but I don't think that will matter. And I've always wanted to try one of these brushes. These are these brushes. I forget what they call them. What does he call them? It doesn't say. This is a number 6 Alvaro Castagnet brush. I forget what company he works alongside, but it's got a thicker belly, and then it comes to a feathery fine point at the tip. Let me get it wet real quick with my dirty water. That's awful. This is what they look like. They're such cool brushes. I've always wanted one of these. Thank you so much, Shelley. I'm going to get some use out of it today. I can't wait. Okay, and then the second one, I'm sorry, I'm squirming all over. Somebody said I was making her dizzy the last time because my chair was spinning back and forth. It's a bad habit that I learned trying to get through pain. There, ooh. This one has a card on this end. We'll start with the card. Oops. And there's something else. I'm going to move my chair back. I'll cut this out because I keep rolling forward. There we go. Oh, a keychain with my initial. I'm going to add it to my studio key. That is so pretty, but let me get the card first. This is from Michelle, I believe. Pretty sure, because we discussed how she was going to mail this to me, and I'm so glad that it came. We thought it was lost. This says, you inspire me by the light you share, by the joy you give, by the strong and thoughtful way you live, by the faith you keep, by your wisdom too, always so inspired by you. And then she wrote me a note. So I'm just going to read it to myself real quick. Thank you for sharing your talent with the world. I'll share part of it. I appreciate all the hard work you put into your tutorials. Your videos always make me smile. You've taught me so much. I always look forward to seeing your videos. Keep inspiring everyone. Thank you so much, Michelle. It will flatten out. You made the keychain? Wow! Okay, you guys got to see this keychain. I'm falling out of my chair. Oh, it's so pretty. And I'm going to put it on my studio key so it doesn't get ruined. It'll come out here and then it'll go back. This is so gorgeous, and it looks like real flower petals. And then she's got an S on it. Isn't that gorgeous, you guys? It is so pretty. Thank you, Michelle. Oh, I love it. And I have my key in my pocket, so I'm going to add it to my keychain. Now, think of you every time. Let's see, I can't find it in there. I see some like bubble wrap stuff, but this side is stapled. Let me see if I can get the staple out. I know you guys are saying, don't cut your finger. I'm pointing it away from me. Is there just one in here? Nope, there's three. Pointing it away, and I'm keeping my hand away. It's way below the scissors, so there it goes. Oops, that one's shot. I gotta find that so I don't step on it. I learned my lesson because this finger is still bent and it doesn't face straight. It turns in toward my middle finger. Unlike this one that's straight, this one turns in. So when I go to use it, I don't hit things in the right spot. It's really frustrating. It's going to take me probably a year to get used to my new and unimproved finger. Oh gosh, I can't wait to see this. I'm so excited. Oh, I love this painting you did. I thought you did it in oils. Maybe you redid it. It's beautiful. It's a succulent. This is what she painted for me. Looks like it's about 11 by 14. It is gorgeous. Oh, I got to figure out where I'm going to hang it. I think I want to hang it in my studio, but I'm running out of space here. I might have to hang it in my house somewhere beautiful. In one of the rooms in my house. So we see it all the time, and all of my friends and family will see it too. That is so gorgeous, Michelle. You did a beautiful job. Michelle is a terrific oil painter. I think she started following me when she wanted to learn watercolor. Sorry for the crackling. What I'm going to do, Michelle, is I'm just going to lay this out on some books. And once I put it in a frame, that will flatten it out too, because you have a board that presses against it. So I may not even need to straighten it. But I don't think I have a frame right now for this size. I'll have to look and see. But thank you, both of you, Shelly and Michelle and Anne, for your beautiful, thoughtful gifts, and for thanking me for making the videos. You know, sometimes I think when people get mean on YouTube, I try to think that they're probably very frustrated. Something happened in their day or whatever. Something made them snap. They just argued with their spouse or yelled at their kid or whatever. And then they don't like my YouTube videos so much, so then they have to take it out on me. I understand that, and I'm going to try a different approach when I respond to those people. Some people say, don't respond at all. But I think that they deserve a response, whether it be, no, I'm not going to tolerate that, or just a nice God bless you, have a great day. But they forget that these tutorials are free. You're not paying any money for them. And so that's part of the reason I wanted to do tutorials for beginners, was because when I first started out painting back in 2012, it's been about 8 years, a little over 8 years, and when I started, there wasn't a lot on YouTube, and what you could follow was basically advanced artists doing everything in time lapse. So I couldn't, and I didn't know how to slow down a video back then. I don't even think you had the option 8 years ago to do that. Now I know how to slow down videos and watch somebody, but sometimes there's a little jerking involved. And I'll do that on somebody that's going super fast, and I just want to see a little bit of their technique for a minute, and then I can go back to the fast forward. And I like time lapse. Now that I'm more experienced, I love watching time lapse paintings. But those of you who are beginners, when I got good enough, I promised myself that I would start a YouTube channel to give back to the beginners, because I had to pay $200 a year to join Artists TV Network back 8 years ago. It was about the only thing they had. And then there was a little bit on Craftsy when that came out. Now they're gearing back towards sewing and knitting and that kind of stuff, and away from the sketching and painting. They said I'd have access to all the things I bought forever, but I don't. They took them away. So, and there were some really nice Paul Heaston classes and stuff that I had taken for sketching that I really liked and I would love to go back to and look at. And now my account has been obliterated, so, because they changed their app. But anyway, that's why I wanted to do beginner lessons. And I do plan on doing more of my advanced stuff. Like, you know, I did those chickadees over there not too long ago. Back in the corner right there. You can't really see them very well. And my gouache. I'm going to be doing a gouache video very soon, because gouache, I was sent more gouache by G's Finest, and I told them that I would be doing a video for them. So I've got to get that up. And maybe I'll work on that today so that I can do something else for you this week. And I'm trying to get back in the mode of doing more videos again now that I'm feeling better and Pat's feeling better and things are settling down a little bit around here. So, in the meantime, everybody, be courageous, paint with wild abandon, and most of all, be kind to each other. Take care. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. Have a great day.